Hey everybody, I'm John Fox, physical therapist, strength and conditioning coach, personal trainer. I'm here at the beautiful Casa de Brewer and want to talk to you a little bit about the 28-day COVID challenge I'm putting on. First, I'd like to talk about posture and form with exercises. Posture is really important that you maintain while you're doing the exercises so you don't stress the back and end up with an injury. Most people all day, every day, let gravity win and posture pull you this way. That'll cause adaptive shortening to your pecs and these muscles here, and cause weakness to these muscles here, and then that'll get the better of you. You want to make sure that everything's kinetically lined up. You should have your knees over your ankles, your hips over your knees, shoulders over your hips, and your head over your shoulders, and be kinetically lined up. When you're kinetically lined up, you don't put stress on the structures of the spine, you put stress more on the muscles, which is better for the body. It's kind of like a stack of poker chips. If you have them perfectly lined up, you can push as hard as you want, they won't break. Another good example is if I sat and held this ankle weight, or this dumbbell in my hand, I can sit and hold this dumbbell all day if I'm lined up. If I try to hold the weight like this is obviously going to be sore, break down, and cause some problems. So again, if I'm standing in good posture, we're good and lined up. Standing in bad posture will put a lot of stress on structures that don't like it, particularly the disc. Real quickly, the disc is kind of like a jelly donut. So if you're constantly squishing the front of the jelly donut, the jelly is going to get squirted out the back and push on the nerves that live back there. That's why sometimes when you hear people saying they have pain down one leg or numbness and tingling, it's the disc pushing on the nerve that's causing that to happen. So we don't want to let gravity win. We want to make sure we're using the muscles that hold us upright to keep good posture and don't rest on our ligaments. If you hold your finger like this all day, it's going to hurt. If you're holding your back like this all day sitting at a desk, it's going to hurt. It's really important we get here. The reason we don't is because we're lazy and it's tiring to hold this. This burns calories. You're using your type 1 muscle fibers to hold yourself up all day like this. And as we fatigue, we kind of let gravity win and get in this position. That's going to be really bad, especially over a long period of time. So use those type 1 muscle fibers. Those are the guys that are firing for long periods of time. They have a lot of oxygen to them. They're designed to be contracted all day, every day if you teach them that way. Your type 2 muscle fibers are your movers. Those don't have a lot of oxygen to them. They can't contract for long periods, but they're powerful. In this case, we're trying to work our postural muscles, which are your type 1 muscle fibers, and you want to make sure that you contract them as long as you can, as much as you can when you're in sitting and standing, to hold you in this upright position and put the stress on the muscles, which can endure the stress, versus the ligaments, the disc, and the capsules around the spine and the joint itself. All right, putting that all together, we're going to talk about form a little bit. So posture and form go hand in hand. If you're going to have good form with any type of exercise or activity, you're going to have to maintain good posture. In particular today, I want to just talk about the squat. So when you go to squat, you want to keep this all lined up like a kinetic chain and come down, and you're going to use your butt to squat, and you're going to be down here in this position. If I had any significant amount of weight on me, I need to be here. If I break and do this at all, I'm going to end up with an injury and I'm going to collapse and fail. So it's really good to make sure that you have proper posture and good form when you squat. A good squat, feet shoulder width apart, the knees don't go over the toes, they don't come together, and you start the motion with your butt coming outward instead of your knees going down. Most people I see squat, they do this. Again, they're hunched over, their posture is poor. You want to stay upright, squat, stick your butt out, hold for about 5 seconds, come back up. A sit to stand exercise is a good way to make sure that you can do that too. So if we get to a spot where we can sit, you can get your feet out, shoulder width, head up, lean forward, pop up, come down, sit all the way down, and come back up until you feel good about it. Then you can kind of come down, touch, come right back up. As you get to the bottom, you should be able to lift your toes in the air a little bit and come up so the weight is on your heels. Good form for a squat. Sit to stand is a good way to do that. The last thing I want to talk about is general postural awareness. So being aware of your position throughout the day. Give yourself little testers. If you're driving or you're sitting at a desk, set things up so that you can see them. And then if you start to fall and you have to adjust the monitor or your mirrors in your car or whatever, don't adjust those, adjust your posture. And make sure you're aware of your posture. Give yourself little tidbits. If you come to a red light, are you sitting up straight? Every 5 minutes maybe, just take a break and make sure you're in good posture. We talked about this being too tight and this being weak. The last thing I want to touch on is it's really important to make sure we stretch these pecs so that we're not playing tug of war when we're trying to get in this position. They're pulling us right back. So a good exercise for that is just a simple doorway stretch. You can get in a doorway, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and just lean in, head up, good posture, hold, and stretch all this out. You want to hold each stretch for about 20 to 30 seconds. Take a break, maybe switch feet, lean forward and do it again. And that'll stretch out this. The last thing I want to talk about is how to attain a posture, a good posture. There's a simple activity you can get against the wall. Let's go over here. Actually, sorry, let's go over here. We'll just move Woody's stuff. So you're going to get your butt, your heels, your back, your head, and try to get both hands against the wall like this. If you can't, if you have a shoulder issue and you can't, then you can put your arms this way. And keep your head, shoulders, butt, knees, and heels all against the wall. And you can turn this into an exercise and kind of do this. You'd be surprised how hard it is to maintain this position for about 10 to 15 seconds. If you want to turn it into an exercise, if this is hard for you to do, I suggest you do this just getting against the wall like this a few times a day. If this is pretty easy for you and you can get into this position, then you just want to take your arms down, take a step away, breathe in, let it out, and there's a good posture. So if you ever want to kind of test yourself to see if you're in good posture, that's a simple way to do it. So that's posture and form. We'll be talking more about our COVID challenge today. I've sent something out. Hope everybody enjoys it. Thanks for having me. Peace.